A very good morning to one and all. I, Ruby Gill, welcome all the attendees and our prestigious speakers on the behalf of lovely professional university for today's webinar on the topic data science, long-term and emerging trends. So attendees today, you'll savor a feast of knowledge from our revered speakers. So allow me to introduce them. Dr. Amritpal Singh, Assistant Professor, School of Computer Science and Engineering, Lovely Professional University. A dynamic professional working as an academician from past 8 years, he has a keen interest and expertise in big data analytics and big data tools. So thank you so much, sir, for joining.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Likewise, I would like to welcome Ms. Suchita Jain, Vice President, Client Development and Marketing, a data strategist and management consultant for startups, scale-ups, and corporates in driving revenues and growth. She has a global experience of 16 years in providing advisory to and working with client-side CXOs, equities, functional departmental heads, and other key stakeholders, leadership teams at large corporates and Tier 1 companies across industries and geographies.
Thank you, Ruby. Thank you.
Value from their big data generating insights, enabling strategic business decision making and business scenario planning, solving complex business use cases in customer marketing risk and operations by deploying advanced analytics, overall organization-wide process improvement, change, and cultural management. So, ma'am, it's a privilege to have you on board with us today.
Thank you once again. Thank you, Ruby.
Additionally, I would like to welcome our admission expert, Ms. Rachna Bajaj, Senior Assistant, Lovely Professional University. So today, she'll give you an insight about eligibility, fee, scholarship, and infrastructure of the university. So thank you so much for joining. So with this, we'll start today's webinar. So over to you, Dr. Amritpal Singh, for the content of the day.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this wonderful introduction. So I hope I'm audible to everyone. Can we start?
Yes, sir, you are.
All right. So as we all know that in this fast-changing world, the technology is changing like rapidly than our lives, right? And the new technologies with the likes of big data, data science, right, are dominating the world. So in order to empower the employability of the young engineers, LPU is offering an exclusive opportunity to work with TransORG Analytics through their BTech program to the young aspirants. BTech honors CSC Data Science and Data Engineering is an ideal course for the future data scientists. TransORG's practical approach to the teaching makes it ideal balance of the theory and practical experience, making it integrated learning. So the TransORG, we have collaborated with the TransORG, and we have both have sat down and have come to the common grounds in order, if I talk about the curriculum. So we both have decided that the curriculum, and it's up to the date. The curriculum of this particular program is designed specifically to deliver up to the date information. Out of all the courses of this BTech CSC Data Science and Data Engineering, approximately 40% of the courses will be taught by TransORG experts, as they already have worked on the real life case studies, right? So that by the end of the 2025, why I'm saying about 2025 as it is a 4-year degree program, because the placement cycle has been changed. The companies are approaching in the 3rd year of the degree program. So that's why I'm just talking about 2025. By the end of by the 3rd year, when the student will reach to the in their degree, so the students is already up to date about all the cutting edge technologies that is around the globe. And if I talk about the collaboration with TransORG Analytics, actually it's a leader of the data science, as it is a core domain of today's world. It's not specific to the computer science now, because it's it's now integral to all the industries. It's not about computers only. It is now being used everywhere because we all want to know the basic insights. As if we are running any business, we want to know some insights, what's happening. So it's a data science who is giving us all the information. So it's a trending, and that's why the title suggests of today's webinar. It's a long-term and emerging trends. So it's a trending like area, right? So everyone is working on this area. So it's a that's why we have made a collaboration with Transform Genetics. So I would like to now invite Ms. Suchita Jain. She's expert for today's webinar. So she'll be like letting us know what is data science, and she'll share her valuable information with all of us. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Singh. Thanks, Ruby, for the warm welcome, and good morning to everyone wherever you are based. I hope you are doing safe and sound and are all excited to learn about this exciting and amazing career called the world of data science. I have quickly shared my screen and I am putting it on the presentation mode for all of you to look at the presentation in detail. So like Dr. Singh was just introducing Transhog, a quick introduction to the company. We are headquartered in Gurgaon in Haryana, and we have global operations. We have a client base in Middle East, Asia Pacific, of course in India, and North America as well. And for the last 12 plus years, the company has been using analytics, machine learning, and AI to solve a variety of business problems for clients in diverse industries, including banking, insurance, telecom, aviation, CPG, even manufacturing. So there's an ocean of opportunities to learn and grow in this field. And even after spending close to 12 years in the industry, I still consider myself as a student. So I am a student for life. If you join an industry like data science, you are constantly learning, constantly growing. It's a fast evolving, changing industry with lots of opportunities. And you will learn later in the presentation that not just data science, it's an ecosystem. So there are a variety of opportunities for people who are specializing in data analytics, in computer science, for people coming from arts and even commerce background to join this industry. So welcome everybody. I'll try to keep it to about 15-20 minutes of discussion. I want to give more time back to you to discuss. So I've kept a timer with myself here. So Sir has been very kind to introduce myself, Ruby and Sir. So I will just quickly skip through my own introduction and quickly take you through the agenda of the presentation. So the way I would like to structure this presentation is, first, I want to give you a quick understanding of what is data science, because there's a constant talk about machine learning, AI, RPA, so things can get a bit muddled. So we would definitely like to clarify some of your doubts on what data science the field is. Then I'll talk about some of the unique business problems which data scientists are solving in today's world, some of which actually, a lot of it actually must be impacting you in your personal life without you realizing. Some of the biggest examples of using advanced analytics and machine learning are hidden in the smartphone that you carry, or even in the cars in which you travel. So sometimes we don't even realize how data science is actually affecting our lives. And I'll talk a little bit about some of the areas where data scientists are very impactful. The third area I'd like to focus the discussion on would be some of the emerging trends given the topic of today's the focus of the presentation. So we definitely want you to understand what are some of the emerging trends, long-term trends, and how it relates to job opportunities, not just as a start of a career, but how you can grow within this particular industry, and what kind of salary ranges are we talking about, because that is also an important constraint for some of the students to decide on whether or not this is a right journey for you. Again, we will like to stress upon why you should be building a career in data science. And I'll wrap my presentation by giving you some tips on how you can prepare for a career in data science, because it is often a black box. There's a lot of information on the internet, so sometimes students don't know, how to begin, where to begin. So before I start my presentation, I'd like to show you a video. Due to internet bandwidth, perhaps the video may not be clear to some of you. So I will request the organizers to share this presentation afterwards so that you can look at it in case you are missing out on any important pieces. But try to pay attention. If you're not able to see it, at least hear what the presentation is all about.
We're rapidly headed towards digital superintelligence that far exceeds any human. I think it's very obvious. So AlphaGo played this move, which I want to hear more about in a second, but Lee was left. He went to the map that I ruined.
Everything we have is the result of our intelligence. It's not the result of our big, scary teeth or our large claws or our enormous muscles. It's because we're actually relatively intelligent. And among my generation, we're all having what we call holy cow or holy something else moments because we see that technology is accelerating faster than we expected.
Started millions of Twitter and Facebook posts carrying links to stories on consumer internet sites such as Breitbart and InfoWars. AI might take a little while to wrap its tentacles around a new skip, but when it does, when it gets it, it is unstoppable.
Okay, so this was a brief video. I don't know how many of you could actually see it well, but very quickly, without moving further away in the presentation, one of the quick things from this video, quick takeaways, that the application of machine learning, data science, and AI is widespread and coming up in emerging areas like self-driving, robotics, space engineering, even in media, for example, when we hear about bots. So it's a wide application of this field, and besides traditional areas like consumer-facing businesses, there's a lot of application of data science in solving business problems in other areas. In fact, the last 2 years have been very chaotic for the world. We've all experienced the impact of coronavirus. Some of the ways in which countries like Singapore or even China and even India, for example, are tracking the disease and getting a control over the disease is by using data analytics, by tracking the number of patients, the number of admissions, the complexities associated with the disease itself, the way the disease profile is changing, how the virus is changing. A lot of analytics is being used to identify the root causes of this problem, for example, and how populations can emerge stronger. So this video was just a quick precursor to the industry. There's lots of other things which we possibly cannot cover in a 15 or 20 minutes talk. But in essence, when we talk about data science, what are we talking about? We are talking about a multitude of skills, a variety of skills. And this is the beauty of this industry, that not one profile is a good fit here. It's not necessary that just because you have studied mathematics in your undergrad, you will perform better here. So you can bring in a variety of skills, right from quantitative applications from mathematics or statistics or computational knowledge to more of scientific way or a scientific blend of thinking. You can bring your creativity into this by improving data visualization and reports, which is a key ask by businesses, that before they start applying their data to solve business problems, they want to understand how the business is performing as is, and that requires visualizing the current business problem. If you're talking to a banker, he wants to know how many loans he's given, how many loans are where the payments are due, which customers he should be targeting for improving his product customer portfolio. So there's a lot of creativity also which is involved in this business. And apart from this, you do need to understand the domain. So analytics, for example, is applicable in airline industry, where they are looking at improving the the seat load factor. They are trying to improve the pricing per seat. It can be applicable in insurance, where they want to reduce the premium load on the customer base. However, they want to reduce the claims as well. So it's a difficult proposition how to manage that. You also look at other industries like manufacturing, where they have implemented sensors, and a lot of data is being collected from the sensors, which can help in understanding the health of the machinery. It can help in predicting failures of the machinery, or help in understanding the huge volatility in the machine performance. Is it due to temperature? Is it due to vibrations? Is it due to humidity? So there's a lot of domain application, domain knowledge, which is being pulled into data science field when you're trying to solve a business problem. At the end of it, you need to have a little bit of a hacker mindset. You are sometimes solving business problems which have never been solved before, or if they have been solved in a very traditional mindset. So you need to go beyond the comfort zone. You need to go beyond the usual way of solving a business problem when you're trying to apply data science. So it's a great blend of multi skills, and coming from a non-engineering background myself, all I can say is it's huge opportunity to learn. You should not get bogged down by the cons behind it. If you understand the logic and creativity behind data science, it's a wonderful field to be in. So I'll quickly take you to the next part of the presentation, and requesting you to park your questions till the end if possible, so that we can, address some of those collectively. So one of the traditional questions which is being always asked is, how come data science has just come into work? So it's not true that data science is just a new concept. The world has been solving business problems using analytics and mathematics for quite some time. But the explosion in the growth of data in the last few years has been phenomenal. Just by looking at this curve, you can see that the growth between the last 6-7 odd years has been tremendous. In the last 9-10 years, both the availability of the data, the type of data, the growth in the data, and a lot of it has come because of the digital devices that we started to use. So there's a lot of data coming in from our smartphones, from the time that we spend on the internet, and all of that data is helping businesses plug the gap about the customers, which they did not have earlier. So a lot of the earlier interaction with customers used to be offline, people to people interaction. A lot of it was never recorded, but due to digitization, due to our increased usage of websites, applications, a lot of browsing data, clickstream data, all of it is getting recorded about people. And that trove of data is now being used to understand customer behavior, to understand business problems, to understand how to solve a customer problem, what a customer is really thinking, what does a customer really want. So for consumer facing businesses, there's been a huge explosion of data. On the other side, for non-consumer businesses, for example, manufacturing companies and all, by implementing sensor technologies and doing edge computing, they are able to figure out what is happening on the factory floors, on their shop floors, which earlier they used to be dependent upon the opinion of supervisors or frontline managers. Now, instead of relying on a person's opinion, they rely on sensor data, which is real-time data, capturing data in milliseconds sometimes. And the backend algorithms are calculating at the speed of light, or maybe exceeding that, much exceeding that, the problems that you can anticipate. So whether consumer facing or non-consumer facing, there's a huge explosion of data, and not just structured data, even unstructured data. Whenever we are chatting with businesses, whenever we are relaying our feedback about our experience, all of that data is being used by businesses to understand the customer better. So this, again, on the right side, you can see the chart that besides that growth in data, another fundamental changes for the industry, which has really come out in favor for the industry, is the huge increase in computational technology, and that has enabled the analysis of data as well. So not just the growth in data, because the data has been exceeding anyways in its entirety. In the last 2-3 years, human beings have generated more data than they have ever generated the previous generations. But we've also reduced the time it takes to compute. The computational part has increased a lot, and through cloud and cloud services, and infrastructure that has enabled businesses to move away from capital expenditure and sinking the money into an endless stream of servers and shifting the data to cloud where it is secure, it is fast access, and they also have access to a variety of data science tools. So moving on, how has data science evolved? So in a typically in the first few decades of the last century, most of what we were doing were data mining and business intelligence, more of reporting what has happened, just structuring the data together, bringing it all together. But in the last few decades, in this particular century, the focus, like I have said, has been more on understanding digitized data, connecting the digitized data with offline data, connecting all the missing dots, so to speak. And for example, when I talked about non-consumer facing businesses, there are additional data sources like sensors, RFID, or Internet of Things or devices related data. So there's a variety of structured as well as unstructured data. And that is how the evolution has been, which you will see in the next few slides as well. So coming to some of the top trends in the data science world, one of the key things to remember is when I talked about computational technologies, initially corporate clients would be spending millions of dollars on creating a data infrastructure in-house. They would buy standard servers, they would create networks and security frameworks around that. It's costly, it involves a large team of IT folks. It's a behemoth to manage. It can be slow, and especially for companies which are geographically spread across, and there's a huge complexity in markets, in consumer behaviors. Consumers in one market, the regulations in one market do not apply to the second market. So there's a lot of complexity to manage across the globe. So one of the things which enterprises have realized, thanks to cloud service providers, is a lot of the backend infrastructure can be easily be managed on the cloud. And you're seeing a fast acceleration of cloud based services in the enterprise space. So one of the statistics which is quite interesting here is that around 45% of some of the world's largest corporates and enterprises are using some form of either public or private cloud to manage their big data, to manage their data analytics, whether for reporting or for business decision making, or even making predictive decisions. So depending on the analytics maturity of the company, there has been a good usage and an accelerated usage of cloud. As a quick example that I can tell you about cloud usage is when you are booking your cabs, for example, you're taking an Uber or an Ola, one of the first things you want to do quickly on your app is to compare the fare between the apps, right? And the fare is determined based upon the query plus the algorithm at the back end, which is calculating the price. It looks at a variety of factors: the peak traffic times, the number of queries, the number of rides being completed, the number of drivers available. So the algorithm is crunching at the back end. It is using historical data plus current data to input the fare back into the system. And that's what, as a front-end consumer, you are seeing. A lot of this infrastructure now these companies are using are dependent on cloud, so that the calculations are much faster. Literally in milliseconds, you are able to see the fare, so that as a consumer, you have a seamless experience on the platform. You don't have to wait for hours to come to know what is the right time to travel, what is the right fare. You literally get the answer within seconds, and that's possible because of being on the cloud. A second major trend, and while I've displayed 17 top trends here on this left side, but I'll focus some of the top most emerging trends in the field, and especially for the current year, is making your data more actionable. And what I mean by this is a lot of the companies had created troves and troves of data which was never analyzed. It was just being kept for basic reporting whenever business would ask a certain query, or just because regulatory environment determined that they need to save their data. So data repositories, data lakes were created, but no action was ever taken. Now the business has come to realize that we have to move away from gut feeling, an intuitive way of working, to more data driven actions. And that's where analytics folks, data scientists like you, are helping clients to understand the true meaning behind the data, whether you're solving for current problems like, what is happening in the business, what has gone wrong, or creating predictive scenarios. Can you forecast the price? Can you forecast the quantum of losses which can be expected depending on the business problem? You're making the data actionable. You're helping the business to understand the key trends in the market, the key trends around the consumer base, so that they can take more prompt actions. So data is not just a theory. Data analytics is no more a theoretical exercise driven by a small group of people. It is getting democratized across departments, whether it is pricing, whether it's marketing, whether it's sales, human resource, operations, risk financing. So a lot of departments across businesses have started to depend upon analytics and data insights for decision making. A third major trend which we have started to notice in this field is data as a service. A lot of the businesses, for example, if you talk about high competition businesses like airlines and FMCG or consumer products companies, they depend not just on their internal data, but they also depend on marketplaces, data marketplaces, to understand what is happening in the entire economy or with respect to their industry. So let me quickly take an example of fast-moving consumer goods. So in the fast-moving consumer goods industry, we're talking about companies which are manufacturing food, for example, biscuits, cookies, cakes. You're talking about personal care products like shampoos, conditioners, or home care products, hygiene products. So these companies are margin-driven businesses. It's a hyper-competitive industry. They have to manage their raw material costs and overhead costs in order to build margin and make the business profitable. So besides relying on their own in-house or on their enterprise data, they rely a lot on external third-party data such as Nielsen or Kantar. So Nielsen provides, for example, the visibility on consumer purchase of competition's products as well. Nielsen also provides the price discovery data. So what has been charged by the competition in this space. So this kind of data marketplaces are accelerating and are available not just for traditional businesses like FMCG, but even in other industries like banking. And insurance. So for another quick example is IRDAI, which is the regulatory authority for insurance in India. They have started creating a repository of frequent offenders in insurance business. So there are a lot of fraudsters who commit frauds in insurance. And by creating this repository, IRDA is giving access to this offender database to all the other insurance providers, so that insurance companies are able to minimize the risk of fraud coming into their system. So they check on the fraud database whether the person who has applied for an insurance policy is already marked as an offender in the data. And if it is so, then they tend to deny those applications, which is reducing the risk of fraud from entering the insurance company. So these data marketplaces are becoming prevalent and will exponentially grow as more and more data is getting digitized. A fourth major trend for the industry is augmented analytics, which is the use of automation and AI to assist the data scientists in analyzing the data. So besides manual crunching of data, which data scientists are doing, a lot of the processes are now getting automated. For example, from data cleansing to building a model to even model interpretation, a lot of these processes, when you talk about machine learning models, are getting automated so that it is fast, it's effective, and data scientists can focus on some of the most critical projects instead of focusing on random and everyday problems. A fifth major trend for the industry right now, and we have heard a lot for the last few years, is IoT, or the Internet of Things. So all of the examples I gave earlier about sensors being deployed on devices IoT together with edge computing is accelerating the usage of machine learning for problem solving for some of the non-consumer facing businesses. So ML applications I've already discussed, they lead to better resilience in the business. You are able to predict machine failures and reduce the failures, the costly failures much in advance. And it also improves overall accuracy of running the business. It reduces the cost of maintenance of machines when you are able to timely predict machine failure. So those are some examples of IoT which are becoming very relevant in today's world. A sixth major trend, which I feel is really accelerating and taking off, is the use of natural language processing. So the way people like you and I are conversing, we are trying to codify that and bring it into our digitized realm so that when we are interacting with machines, we are able to converse as freely and easily as we do as individuals. So through the process of NLP and natural language generation, companies are now making it easier for people to be able to query on their data, to be able to understand the current trends in their customer base. NLP has wide applications. You are able to understand the unstructured data, for example, text. You can extract data from huge troves of documents fast so that you can identify certain patterns and trends quickly. So NLP is again an increasingly important trend that is taking off. A last quick area that I wanted to spend some time on is the democratization and access to machine learning and data science. So like I said, for ordinary citizens, we sometimes don't realize, but we have machine learning running in the background whenever we take a picture on our smartphone, for example. Machine learning is able to enhance the picture. It is able to identify, it takes a series of pictures at the back end, and the algorithm is able to pick the right picture to display for you so that while you're taking the picture, it is the smartest, is the brightest, with the right contrast, the sharpness. All of that is being calculated in the background hidden in your smartphone. Similarly, when you are visiting a website and for example, when you are visiting an e-commerce platform, a lot of the personalization and customizations are possible because the company is learning more and more about your preferences as you visit the website, and the company is only providing you with more relevant products and services in the front end so that you have a seamlessly nice experience and you come to become loyal and appreciate the services that they're offering. So a lot of the access to machine learning and AI has not just come to the top most business decision makers, but it has also started to kind of integrate with the general audience and the general life that we have. And I'll talk about it more in the next few slides. Ruby, just let me know if I'm speaking a little too slow. I want to give some time to the students as well, right? So do let me know if I'm a little over the time limit here. So quickly, I'll talk. Yeah, thanks. So I'll talk about some of the use cases. So when we are on social media, when we spend time on Instagram, Facebook, we have a host of other applications for entertainment or infotainment, I should say. A lot of the applications, such as what videos or posts to show, what is the engagement on the post, how can that be used to target more targeted personalized ads to the user. Those are all decisions where analytics and data science is being applied. Besides your engagement, how to make sure that the user is coming back again and again, the relevant information is being displayed. A lot of AI applications are being tested there. They do a lot of A/B testing. Again, on e-commerce, whenever you are applying for any kind of products to be delivered at your home, nowadays many businesses are claiming to give you products within 10 to 15 minutes of ordering. How is that being determined? What products to prioritize for such delivery? Which area or catchment area can you deliver this to? Where can you make this promise? What products should go on sale? Which products should get more promotions or offers? Is the price of the product right? If, for example, you have bought a certain product, can we push another related product? So all of these decisions taken by the e-commerce companies are again driven by data science and analytics in the background. Again, when it comes to mobility, we have all started to use Google Maps and other kind of maps whenever we are traveling. What is the shortest route to be taken at what time? Are there any traffic disruptions? Or even, for example, we talked about cabs earlier. So whenever you're taking a cab on hiring, At what price point will they give you? Is there a cab available for that route? All of that is determined by analyzing troves and troves of data, which is captured from user devices as well as from devices which are being carried by the drivers and the cabs. So a lot of data is being crunched in the background by the algorithms, and for a user, it's a simplified resolution to the query. But in the backend, there are algorithms which are running millions of data points at the same time. Banking, which I'll take later in details as an example. I've picked one detail as a quick example. Whether you are, depositing money or withdrawing money, whether you want to apply for a loan, you want an investment advisory, wealth management, a variety of use cases, whether it is retail consumers or corporate or even institutional consumers. Banks and financial services companies are using troves of data to enable business decisions. And I'll talk more about it in the example. When you're interacting with the entertainment platforms like music listening applications or OTTs, a lot of what you listen or watch is determined based on the algorithm. So for example, if you prefer listening to rock music, those kind of recommendations will be made to you based upon what you have listened and liked in the past. Similarly, when you are watching movies or TV shows on OTTs, based upon your viewership, based upon the past preference, and based upon the people similar to you in your profile, what they have liked, they determine what other additional titles to recommend to you to watch. All of that is determined based upon the data science and machine learning in the background. Again, in healthcare, a lot of analytics is being used for predictive, healthcare. So, when you go for your annual checkups, whenever you are getting data being recorded about your health, all of the data parameters or even sensors, there's a lot of talk about health sensors capturing the data and letting you know in real time what is your glucose level, what is your oxygen level, temperature level, and the real time they are able to give you the warnings. It is all based upon algorithms which crunch the data in the background and let you know for your age group, for people in the same health status, this is the normal parameter, whereas your parameter is exceeding or below the normal range. So they give you the sensor prompts on a timely basis. So all of that data is being analyzed with the use of data science. Again, a lot of smart home applications are being run with machine learning in the background. So whenever you're talking to intelligence voice systems like Alexa, or so all of the information which Alexa is capturing, it is using that to enable a more smoothless experience for you when you are at home with your preferences, with your alarms that you set. Another exciting thing which we are hearing a lot about is, self-drive cars. So there is a lot of computationally heavy analytics application by looking at the type of route that you're taking, the kind of traffic condition, the time it has to take to reach to the destination. All of the computational power in the backend is determined again by machine learning algorithms and data science problems that the companies are trying to solve. At the end of the day, even if you do as something as simple as a Google search for a certain product or your general information, whatever you're searching on Google also, for example, or any other search engine, a lot of the display of the search results again are dependent upon the analytics or the recommendation system, what they're able to pull up. So as you can see, there's a variety of application of data science in our life today. Now, depending on the maturity of the business, different kind of analytics are application at different points of time. At the very lowest form of analytics is descriptive analytics, where you're building you're visualizing and building the story around what has happened or what is happening in the business. A second kind of analytics is more on the diagnostic. So if something has gone wrong and you want to understand why it has gone wrong, if, for example, your sales are falling in a certain region, or for example, if machines, like we took example of machines, there's a consistent decline in the performance of certain machines, you want to understand why it has been happening. So you apply diagnostic analytics techniques. Predictive analytics is where you start building the visuals for the future, when you start anticipating what will happen. And that's where you start using predictive analytics techniques. When you want to optimize your business processes, and you want to maximize the ROI from your business investments, then you start looking at prescriptive analytics solutions. And once business has reached this kind of maturity, that's where companies start using AI and machine learning for more automated and long-term, more complex use cases where a simple manual intervention may not be enough. So these are quickly, I'll walk you through the illustrative data points which an analyst is typically looking at from a day-to-day basis, depending on the business you get aligned to and the department within that. For example, in sales and marketing at an airline, you are looking at loyalty program management or cross-selling, upselling. In telecom, you would be looking at customer feedback or revenue per sale. In the field of human resources, you would be looking at what is the background of the people who are joining us, what has been their efficiency. So there's a huge variety of data which you are capturing on a daily basis, some of it structured and a lot of it unstructured in today's world. So quickly taking through one example, if you, most of us have experience of some sort of interacting with a bank. So the first part of a bank relationship is when you decide to apply to become a member of the bank, either as a customer by starting a deposit account or by taking a certain loan. So this as an example is when a person is applying for a loan, the bank will check at the background whether the person has favorable demographics and the right repayment behavior from his previous loans to understand that there is a low risk of having this customer come on board. And that's when the bank decides whether or not to approve the application for a loan. Just once the customer's loan has been approved, he becomes a customer and he starts making payment on his loan products. Then the bank starts to understand more and more about the person. Is this person making the payment on time? What is his net worth? Is there a potential to grow this business together with him? What is the profile of this person? Is he an urban professional? Is he a business owner? So a lot of these insights are started to get generated. Third area where the banks, once the customer has spent enough time in the bank, the bank starts to understand if there is a potential to grow this business relationship, and if there is a potential to grow, what kind of products I can sell, products or services I can cross sell or upsell to the customer. While at the same time bank is doing that, bank will also check that for the products that I've already sold to this customer, what is the risk that this customer will stop paying the EMI? Because as you could see in the last couple of years, especially in 2020, when because of Corona, there were lockdowns, the RBI of India gave a very strict nomenclature to the banks that you cannot put customers or convert them or tag them as non-performing if they have stopped paying EMI. So there was a certain moratorium which was given. However, once the moratorium was lifted, did the customer continue to make the payment, or was there still a risk that the customer will stop paying? So some of these decisions are determined based upon data analytics. And all of that information is being used for further enhancement about the profile of the customer. Is there a risk that this customer will stop engaging with the bank, he will liquidate his loan and move to some other bank? So there's a lot of competition from the market. There are always better rates of interest, better services available by the competing banks. So all banks are concerned about the risk of a customer leaving the bank, and it's a costly, as you've all heard, I'm sure, that acquiring a customer is usually 6 times the cost of servicing an existing customer. So it's always important to be able to maintain a healthy portfolio. So just by looking at one industry, one type of example, you can see there are various touch points where you're collecting a lot of data about a customer, and you're using a variety of analytics techniques to solve hundreds of use cases possible. So quickly, I'll take you through some of the key facts which may be of interest to you, and I'm sure you must be waiting for this right now. So it is projected by the US Bureau of Labor that close to 11.5 million jobs will open up in the field of data science in the next 3 to 5 years foreseeable future. And just within India, if you actually do a good search on some of the job portals and platforms, you will realize that close to 1 lakh plus, 100,000 plus job openings are right now related to the field of analytics, whether as a data scientist, data engineer, data analyst, and we'll talk more about the profiles subsequently. And a good chunk of these openings are for people who are just starting out after they completing their graduation. So a good 60-65% of these job openings are for freshers. And while this is great, the growth in this business is also healthy. So it is projected that around 30 to 35% is the compounded annual growth rate of the data science jobs just in India. And it is expected that India is already part of top 3, I would say, but it is soon to become the top number 1 or number 2 market when it comes to data science talent in the world. And of course, while with most of the profiles, you end up earning almost 2 times at a data scientist. We'll talk more about that in the next few slides. So coming to the kind of jobs that can be done. So it is not necessary that all of us have to be a data scientist only. There are other kind of roles which are applicable. You can become a data analyst who has a good grasp of presenting data and collecting data, cleaning the data, creating nice visuals to explain the trends in the data. Or you could become a data engineer who understands technology, who understands data infrastructures very well, who understands the various frameworks, whether on the cloud or on-prem, how you can automate and make access to the data easier. Sorry. Another kind of a job here in this field is machine learning, where you are applying advanced analytical techniques by analyzing millions of data to solve more of the complex business problems. And third, we have talked about is data scientists. Here you're building predictive models, you're addressing various kinds of top business use cases. Here you will apply statistical techniques, you will apply programming techniques on Python, on SQL to solve the business problems. So coming to the kind of salaries and growth that we can experience, like I said, over 100,000 jobs are right now active, and it is expected to explode further with emerging trends in metaverse, in drone technology. There's with blockchain, there's an explosion in this field because there's a 10x to 100x growth in data. So variety of use cases are now accessible for solving. So when you start as a data scientist or as a data engineer or even as an analyst, there's a lucrative growth in the salary from, let's say, up to 2 years of experience to up to 7 to 10 years of experience. In fact, if you look at today's job market, sometimes data scientists are sitting on at least 4 to 5 job offers with as much as a 50 to 60% hike from the current drawdown salary. So there's a huge growth opportunity possible just within staying in India. And for, of course, data scientists who want to go into the global market, there's a huge lack of talent in mature markets like North America or Europe, where the salaries could even be up to 10x of what you typically get in India. So depending upon the location, depending on the skills that you have, and depending upon the number of years of experience, if you are able to showcase your talent well, you have a very lucrative salary growth in this field. Now there are, of course, good opportunities of growing your profile. Business are looking at synthesizing structured and unstructured data. Because of COVID disruptions, businesses have realized that a lot of the processes need to be digitized. So you are seeing a good growth of business coming from digitalization, and that creates more data analytics opportunities. A lot of clients are looking for support in data visualization, in building better predictive models to understand new or change consumer behaviors, NLP application, and more advanced analytics like video and image analytics. Quickly talking about some of the additional use cases, you can help your companies by better managing their cash or liquidity. You can improve their sales pipeline. There's been a lot of supply chain disruptions because of lockdowns and all. So businesses are trying to improve their logistics and building resilience in their systems. Now, how should you invest in a career in data science? First and foremost is getting top-notch certifications given by universities like LPU. Second is, of course, pick up an industry of your choice, whether you want to build a career in aviation or banking or telecom or hospitality. Learn about the business, become passionate about the business, learn the problems that they're trying to solve and how data science can be used. Then pick the domain experts in that area and pick up your mentors. And fourth is to build your portfolio, build your resume by doing some summer internships, by solving industry competitions, understanding case studies, right? At the end, I would like to conclude by saying that LPU provides a lot of structure in its course and curriculum together with Transorg. Transorg has invested 12 years of its experience into this certification. So you get a hybrid approach. It's not a theoretical application. It could be instructor-led, it could be live sessions. So courses are customized as per your background and you get hands-on experience on industry projects which Transorg has solved. So with this, Ruby, I'll take a pause here and I would love to answer some of the questions which students may have. I hope I've been able to share some of the rich learnings from the industry with you today.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your vision. And yes, indeed, your presentation was very informative, and I believe attendees will be benefited from this. So yes, ma'am, we have few queries, and we would love to take those queries with your permission. So can we take up those queries?
Yes, please.
Sir?
Yes, please.
Are you with us?
Yes,
Yeah, please, Ruby, go ahead. I can hear you.
All right. Ma'am, so there is a query from Vidhi Mahajan. She wants to know on what criteria should I determine if this is the right course for me? Why Transorg?
If this is the right course for her, that's what you're saying? The question is?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right. So the reason why this course is unique from other courses is the first fact is that because we have worked with the industry for the last 12 years, we know which are the unique business problems which most of our clients are facing, and we have created those solutions. And those solutions are packaged into this certification, which you will not get from a typical certification in the market. So this certification, because you are getting ready with the industry skills in mind, by the time you graduate from the certification program, you will perform much better on your interviews when you are applying for jobs, because you have already solved these problems in a safe academic environment. So you have kind of experience even if you are not working with an actual client. So that's why the certificate is superior, because Transorg is bringing that experience that it has learned over 12 years and packaged it into this certification. Sure, Ruby. Let's go to the next question, please.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The next question is also related to this, that will all the students get placement in Transorg? This is the question by Prakhar Mishra. He wants to know about the placement in if they are associated with Transorg.
Sure. So while, of course, the brochure will capture most of the details about the placement program, all I can say, at Transorg, we are a growing company. We are in constant need of top performing data science talent. And for select profiles who are, are exceeding in their academic credentials in the certification, there is always an opportunity to apply for the open positions in Transorg and get absorbed, which we have done in the past for some of our students who have just starting out. So it's for Transorg, all I can say is that for the right profile students, the sky is the limit. We are growing. We are soon going to be 10x of what we are. We are a 60-member team organization, and we plan to be close to 200 to 300 people in the next 1 year. So from Transorg, I can guarantee that for the right student profiles, if you graduate at the top of your class, the sky is the limit. But yes, outside of Transorg, there are a variety of opportunities. Be guided by the LPU placement committee, program.
So yes, ma'am, as you were talking about, there's a similar question to this, query to this, that the question is from Rahul Mishra. He wants to know that will Transorg provide internship also to the students?
Sorry, I just missed that part. Will Transorg provide what? Can you please explain what Ram was asking?
He wants to know about the internships.
Okay, so Transorg does offer internships on a selective basis, and during internships, you get access to both industry problems as well as you work with a Center of Excellence team. So I'll quickly explain to you. In an industry problem, you may be shadowing a data scientist on an actual project. So, for example, we are working with one of the world's largest beverages company, and we build their marketing spend optimization models. So you could be shadowing an actual data scientist to understand how we're doing it. Alternatively, some of the internship students actually work on emerging business problems. We have a Center of Excellence team which works on newer and more complex business problems which the clients are asking. So some of the interns may get mapped to our COE team where they are actually building new age solutions. So it depends on the nature of the internship. It depends on the number of posts we open each year. So again, my colleague Anju, she is working together with the LPU team. She will be coordinating and disseminating the information with regards to internships. So please do watch out for that. You can also visit us on our website as well as on our LinkedIn page for any kind of postings.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So,
Yeah.
sir, as you are associated with the LPU from past 8 years, so there's a question regarding to our program from Manasvi. She wants to know that there are many
Okay, so
specialized.
okay, can you explain the question, please?
Yeah, ma'am, I want sir to throw some light on this because this question is related to LPU, the university. So the
Yeah.
question is from Manasvi. She wants to know that there are many specializations available in B.Tech computer science, like data science, ML, and AI, and IoT, etc. And B.Tech computer science core. So which one to choose?
Okay, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are.
As ma'am has already have stated about the data science as a domain, because it is now applicable to all the industries, right? So it is now, we can say, kind of omnipresent now. So data science is in demand with every industry. So for that, and in addition to it, like we have a very good handsome package available, even for the fresher who is passing out from the graduation or maybe in the third year. So a lot of job opportunities in addition to the job openings. So that's a reason that data science need to be is a perfect choice, or is a first priority of any student who want to like pursue its BTech.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So, ma'am, there is another question, but there are two questions. I'll complete in one. So, the question is, how will the program help me to get job opportunities or acquire growth in my career? And what is the highest package from the placement? So, these questions are for Rituraj Singh and Karanveer Singh. So, they want to know about the job opportunities and the highest package. So please throw some light on this, ma'am.
Sure, I can quickly address that while I showed it on one of the slides. So those are the typical ranges which we are seeing in the market. So the starting salaries when you're starting out of college, the ranges can range from, let's say, 5 lakhs to 8 lakhs, 9 lakhs, up to 10 lakhs for some of the deserving candidates. In fact, you would have seen in the news for some of the very top performing data scientists who are coming out of colleges, they are getting lucrative packages of up to 1 crore also for outside India postings. But as soon as you enter the industry, within 2 years, if you have built a portfolio, a strong resume where you can show at least 3 to 4 high impact projects where you've delivered some ROI to the business, within 2 to 3 years of graduating, you could be looking at least 3 times to 5 times of the salary, which was unheard of 15-20 years back when we graduated from our schools. So the pace of acceleration in terms of revenue is high, and also in terms of promotions. So you can start as an analyst, move to analytics lead, to analytics manager, project head, or client engagement head within a span of 7 to 10 years from graduating. A lot of it is, of course, dependent upon how much effort you are also putting in. But by taking certifications with LPU, with the strength of Transorg in the background, you are already going to be on an accelerated path as compared to any other ordinary data scientist. I hope I could help, but the slide which I've shared with you, Ruby, please share with the audience so that they can also have a look at the salary ranges.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, I'll give you the presentation rights. You can show that slide to the students or to the attendees. Yes, ma'am. I've given you the presentation rights, so you can show that slide which you were talking about the highest package to the students. Ma'am, your mic is off.
When your mic is off.
Ma'am, you are muted right now. Yes.
So sorry about that. So as you could see, like I was saying, that you can get up to 3 times, 4 times the salary within 5 to 6 years of time, and these are just average ranges. In the real world, the growth in salary is almost 50 to 60% in some of the jobs. Right now, data scientists are sitting with at least 3 to 4 standard offers without making a lot of effort. A lot of the data scientists are getting multiple offers, and from some of the largest employers. So there are some very large employers like top IT companies, top social media companies, and then niche companies like data science companies like Transorg. So for some of the niche companies like data science companies like Transorg and all, the sky is the limit, because our bread and butter is data science, right? So you can get very lucrative offers in terms of the payoff, in terms of what you invest in the certificate versus the salary you can grow. It's the sky is the limit. All you need to pay attention is that you have the right set of skills, which we have talked about, which the certification offers, plus also the experience. So build your project pipeline on your resume through internships, by participating in industry competition. There are standard very large industry competitions. Participate in them so that you get a good variety of a hands-on experience also. Yeah, next question, Ruby.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. There's another question from Manasvi. She wants to know that in this stream, Transorg has tied up with LPU. But during placements, will the student has option to participate in placements with other companies, or the student has to take placement with a Transorg only? At competencies level, where does the student stand compared to other students at the end of BTech?
Sure. I think Dr. Singh can answer it better, but all I can say is that Transorg is one of your employer choice, but not the only choice, right? So if you are interested to sign up for another company, by all means you should. But I'll request Dr. Singh to address that better, because the placement program, you can talk much better than I can, Dr. Singh.
Yeah.
So requesting you to perhaps address her query on this.
I just want to add one thing to this, what ma'am has said. Like, because although this program is more dedicated to data science, but student is also learning the core courses of computer science. It means like student is now having dual benefits. Although he's having a good command on data science, but in addition to it, he's also learning the core subjects like maybe databases, data structures, and all Java programming. So it means like the field is more. So the student is having more scope now. In addition to have data science as a maybe a primary job opportunity, like in addition to it, he can also go for some other opportunities because he already have a skills of core computer science.
Absolutely, sir. You could be joining a tech employer, like I said, or some of the large social media companies. You could be joining a large corporate or a manufacturing company. The sky is the limit. And you could also, if you want to move to the data science track, like Dr. Singh was advising, that besides technology, there's data science in the certificate. So you can join data science companies like Transorg, but it's not necessary that this certificate only is for Transorg employees. It's not like that. Yeah, next question.
You, ma'am. Yes, the sky is the limit. Yes, ma'am. Now we'll take the last but not the least question. What tools, languages will be taught in this program to the students?
Yeah. So while I've shared it in one of the slides, and the certification brochure will also cover that in detail, but very quickly, being able to code on Python, SQL, PySpark, understanding, Excel, for example. Excel is still relevant. Understanding database structures, those are some key skills which are necessary. From analytics point of view, understanding the top algorithms in use today. So again, I would suggest to the students, please refer to the program brochure of this certification program, because we have created a comprehensive learning path for you on technology, on business use cases, on algorithms. So the certificate is very comprehensive, covering all of the skills which you need when you graduate. and you need to work for the first 2-3 years. And of course, the business is evolving. So if newer technologies and techniques are coming up, those will get integrated in your certification programs.
Can
So
I add?
over to you, Dr. Singh. Yeah, yeah.
You would like to
Actually,
add something, sir? Thank you.
yes. Actually, here, whatever ma'am had said, like she has talked about SQL, she has talked about Python. In addition to it, we are because it's a data science and data engineering, we have this focus on these two things. So it means Hadoop will be there. In addition to it, the one of the leading tool of big data, which is Apache Spark, will be covered in the curriculum. In addition to it, we have Hive, Apache Hive, and all the other big data Hadoop ecosystem will be covered in the course as well. So it is we are targeting all the uh, major tools with the likes of Hadoop, Spark, and other tools which are in trend today.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir, for resolving all the queries of our attendees. And now we'll quickly move to our admission expert, Ms. Rachna Bajaj, for the admission part of the university. So, ma'am, over to you.
Okay, so good morning everyone. I hope you all are doing fine and safe at your home. So I'll be just quickly sharing the glimpse of the university which you will be joining this year or most probably in the coming years. So first up in the list we have LPU breaking the record when 13 LPU students participated in Tokyo Olympics 2020 and brought laurels to India. Moving ahead with the rankings, because I suppose this is another important aspect which you should consider before taking admission in any university. So first up in the list, we have Times Higher Education Impact Rankings 2022, where LPU has been ranked 74th globally. Moving ahead, another feather, the World University Rankings 2022, where LPU has been ranked 36th among top universities of India amongst both government and private universities. Next, we have the Atal ranking of institutions on innovation achievements, where LPU has been ranked 3rd in India. Now let's talk about the campus life and exposure offered. So as a student, make sure that you enjoy your campus life and gain as much as exposure you can. And if I talk about LPU students have got several opportunities to interact with Nobel laureates and participate in not just national, but international level events as well. So I'll just quickly show you a glimpse of few of the events. First up in the list, we have 106th Indian Science Congress with a focal theme, Future India Science and Technology, which was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi. Moving ahead, Nobel laureate Dalai Lama ji for the 5th convocation at LPU. We also had former President of India, late Shri Pranab Mukherjee, for the convocation twice at LPU. Late Shri Arun Jaitley ji for the inauguration of LPU Startup School. Some familiar faces, Gaur Gopal Das ji, he was at campus and interacted with the students and motivated them about life. Some of the heartthrobs, we had Shah Rukh Khan, Deepika Padukone for the promotion of Chennai Express. We also had MS Dhoni and several others. So now I'll be just quickly showing you the infrastructure because you will be making several memories in these classrooms, in these laboratories. So let's take you inside these labs and classrooms. So first we have an outside view of our amphitheater. LP has 2 to 3 amphitheaters where several Nukkad Natak theaters take place. An inside view of our Shanti Devi Mittal auditorium with a capacity of 2,500 audience, being the largest in this region. An inside view of our 4-storied central library with approximately 20 lakh books. And not just this, students also have access to these books in online mode as well. An outside view of our university mall, my favorite place, I would rather say. It has all the basic facilities, be it related to stationery, electronic gadgets, clothing, gaming areas like bowling, snooker, etc. A gymnasium inside the university mall. A 24-hour facility of university hospital, be it related to eye specialists, dental facilities, or physiotherapists. So now this is an outside view of our Shanti Devi Mittal Indoor Stadium. It has several sports facilities like a proper Olympic level swimming pool, 10 to 12 badminton courts, shooting area. Yes, a beautiful picture clicked by one of our students and a mesmerizing night view of our hostels. So now let's move ahead with another aspect, the fees, the scholarship, and how you can apply for admissions at LPU. So what you have to do is just simply visit our website www.lpu.in. And on the top, you will see an icon of admissions where we have segregated the programs as per your qualification, like be it related to after 10th, after 12th, after graduation or post-graduation. So I'll just quickly show you some programs which are being offered under after 12th. So just click on after 12th and all the disciplines which are available will be in front of you. So as we have students from engineering background today, I'll click on engineering. Moving ahead with CSE, and here we have the regular program, the honors, work integrated, industry collaborative, and international credit transfer option program. So I'll just show you the details of our program, BTech honors, computer science and engineering, data science and data engineering in tie-up with transfer. So once you click on it, all the details related to this, the duration of this program, the additional benefits which are being offered as shared in the previous slides, and the eligibility criteria which clearly states that a student should have minimum 70% in 12th with physics, maths and English as compulsory subject and need to qualify LPU NEST exam which is conducted by LPU. Moving ahead, you can see the research, the student achievements, the rankings, and now here comes the most important part, that is the fees and the scholarship. So although the without scholarship fees for this program goes 1,90,000, but we have different categories on the basis of which you can avail scholarships. So let's say if you score between 80 to 89.9% in your 12th, you will directly fall in category 3, that is of 18%, and your fees will be reduced to 1,55,800. Let's say if you score between 90 to 94.9, you will directly fall in category 2 with a scholarship of 28%. And if you score 95% or above, you will fall in category 1, that is of 38%, and your fees will be reduced to 1,17,800. Let's say if you have appeared for JEE, this is the cutoff for JEE in case if you fall in any such. In case if you couldn't avail scholarship on these bases, we have LP NEST exam as well, because this exam is not only for eligibility, but it will act as a scholarship test as well. So this is the cutoff and overall marks mentioned for you in case if you want to go through the scholarship criteria. Moving ahead, I'll just quickly skip to the important dates and other scholarships which are being offered in this program. Scholarship based on innovation, startup and entrepreneurship. If you have any such achievement, make sure that you share your certificates with us so that we can verify in case if you are eligible for scholarship on any such basis. And financial aid for serving retired defense, CAPF and military as well. So I'll just quickly wind up with the important dates. As you can see that the last day to apply for this program is 20th June and the registrations are open. The exam dates will be allotted between 6th to 25th June, and within 24 hours your result will be declared and accordingly you can proceed for admissions. In case if you have any queries, feel free to get in touch with us. Our helpline details are listed on the right side of the screen, the live video counseling icon, the schedule a call icon, the WhatsApp team. And moving ahead, here we have our helpline numbers in case if you want to get in touch with us. We have already conducted such webinars in past, and if you want to register yourself for more such webinars, just simply click on admissions, and on the left side we have LPU's Edu Fair webinars. So we have listed all the upcoming webinars and the past videos. So just register yourself and you'll be good to go. So over to you, Ruby ma'am. I suppose I have shared majority of the details regarding fees and scholarship. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rachna ma'am, for the detailed information. And attendees, you have heard our mentorship of our university and our industry expert. So I advise you that good things come to people who wait, but better things come to those who go out and get them. So don't just sit back and relax. Grab the opportunity to take admission in your preferred program and get early decision benefits. So with this, we conclude today's session, the webinar on the topic data science, long-term and emerging trends. Experts, thank you so much. Your years of research, your depth of understanding the topic, and your ability to present the topic in such a wonderful way produce one of the most interesting morning for all the attendees. So on behalf of all the attendees of this webinar, I want to thank you for your insightful presentation. Hopefully, the attendees found this webinar to be valuable and will be able to utilize the information provided to take better decision regarding admission. So attendees, thank you. I enjoyed bringing this session to you, and I hope you enjoy listening to it as much. So until next time, I, Ruby Gill, sign off.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you.